Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to our channel. We're gonna do a little day in the life, but it's also gonna be a Q&A. We're gonna talk about community. Y'all submitted a lot of questions over on Instagram, but your girl has a lot to do today. I'm not sure if you saw this over on Instagram, but we have a big update. We are officially moving out of our apartment next week. If you're wondering if our house is ready, it is not. If you're wondering if we have a full plan, we do not. If you're wondering if we've started packing, we have not. But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go get my nail fixed because I did not get my nails done for probably I don't want to say 2 years, but I've never consistently had my nails done since having kids. I just feel like they're so inconvenient, but for special occasions like here and there, I'll get them done. So I got them done a couple weeks ago, and then I got them fixed for our gender reveal, and I wanted to do like a little soft baby blue for baby number 3, but they're so long and my nail literally broke. I don't know. Let me turn Cami around. It's like way past where my actual like nail bed is, and it is very painful, and it got caught in Noah's car seat yesterday and not good. Just such a specific, interesting pain. My nail just like feeling like it's gonna rip off. And so I'm gonna run real fast. It's like 9:30 in the morning. I think they opened at 9, so I'm just gonna try to get in there. I'm also gonna get just the polish removed and probably just like a clear gel or something on it, and all of them just cut down, just like back to basic, normal, easy to maintain nails. So let's go do that. Okay, you guys, we are back in the car. I officially got my gel off of my nails. I will say they're looking a little bit janky because I didn't get gel put back on them. I just got them removed, and so my nail beds look a little funky right now, but it feels good to know I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's nice when you have it, but it's also nice to just be totally natural. This is gonna come as no surprise to you. It's been a couple of hours. Cami ended up dying in the nail salon, and then I picked up lunch for the family, got home after lunch, got the boys down for a nap, had to rush over to the house to check on some things, and then I was in need of an iced vanilla matcha latte. Just sounded so good. I figured we would just have like a cozy car chit chat. I asked on Instagram if you had any questions about cultivating godly community, because we brought it up in a Q&A a couple months back probably, and y'all were like, you just need to do a whole video on it, and we're so passionate about this topic. And I was just going through some of the questions, and y'all have some fire questions in here. And what's funny is I actually was watching my Hillsdale course. If y'all watched the video last month, I've been going through the David story in the Hillsdale course. It's the David story, Shepherd, Father, King. And there are so many different relationship dynamics in 1st and 2nd Samuel that it like walks you through in the entirety of this course. But I want to highlight 2 as we like get into our discussion on community. And if you want to dive deeper, we'll have that linked below. All of their courses are absolutely free, which shocks us every single time, but they are truly top tier, high quality college courses that you can take for free. No gimmick, no tricks. I'll have the link down below for you. But okay, the first dynamic that struck me in the whole David story is the dynamic between Jonathan, who is King Saul's son. Keep in mind, King Saul, his son, heir to the throne. Like, kingdom should be his, when Saul dies. You know what I mean? Becomes friends with David, loves David, like loves David. It says with like a covenantal love. Okay. This is the type of friendships we all crave and desire, right? And I just don't think that Jonathan gets enough credit in this story, because genuinely David would like have died multiple times if Jonathan did not come into the picture. And he literally chose David not only over his father Saul, but like Jonathan wanted David to be king. Like, that is shocking, right? Like, that is, let me relinquish all selfishness. And I genuinely love this man. I feel like he should be king. He is anointed by God. Like, Jonathan, wow. I might have shed a tear when he ended up passing away at the same time that Saul did. I was like, wait, Jonathan can't die. I was genuinely so sad. But the second dynamic, which is super interesting. So this is fast forward. Saul has passed away. Jonathan has passed away. And now David is king. And this is lesson 6. It's talking about the rise and the fall of David. There's so many dynamics. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, but specifically, I want to touch on this relationship between Nathan and David. So Nathan was like a prophet. He spoke on behalf of God. So after David sinned with Bathsheba, so keep in mind, she was someone else's wife, right? Gets her pregnant. Then David sends word through a messenger, like put him on the front lines so that he can die. So he's trying to cover up his sin. And this was his way to do it. Well, then Nathan comes to David and he speaks in this like famous, is it a parable, I think? Correct me if I'm wrong. But he's pretty much, knowing that David used to be a shepherd, okay, is talking about, like, if this were to happen to a shepherd, what would you do? And he's like, I would punish, like, 3 times, like, that man deserves, like, this kind of punishment that is evil in the eyes of the Lord. And Nathan's kind of like, bro, that's literally what you just did. And what's crazy about it is Nathan like is calling David out for his sin, telling him what you have done is evil in the eyes of the Lord, and your family will reap the repercussions of this. And David still loves Nathan after this. He's not like mad at him for speaking on behalf of the Lord. He respects Nathan. And so as we get into talking about relationship dynamics and friendships, I think this is so important to note that there are times in our walks with the Lord and in our lives where our friends might have to call us out, or we might be the friend that has to lovingly call a friend out. And those conversations can be really uncomfortable. They can be really awkward. But it almost is like, it almost shows you how much you really care about the relationship if you're willing to push through the awkwardness to speak truth in a way that is loving and not like condemning, in a way that calls each other up, in a way that is like iron sharpening iron. And I've definitely had these conversations, especially I can just like pinpoint some with mentors that I've had or girlfriends that are really close with me who are doing life with me. They're like, Tori, that's not it. That's not you. That's not the standard in which God has called you to live. And I can look back and be so appreciative of those conversations. And so anyways, let me get into some of these like very specific questions. I'm gonna set Cammie up here so that I can check my phone. I know the angle's a little funky, but okay. So one of the most, I feel like, frequently asked questions is just how do you find new community when you've moved and you don't know a ton of people? My answer would be to get involved in different things. Like, what are the things that are of interest to you, and how can you like start conversations or start showing up to things on a regular basis? Like, okay, of course, like show up at church, but is there community groups? Is there prayer meetings? Is there teams you can serve on that are outside of just your general service? But then also when it comes to like lifestyle, right? Like, do you love to go to the gym? Do you love Pilates classes? Do you love to paint or do pottery? Or what are those things that you really love? Because chances are, the people that you're going to connect with that love the same things are going to be in those places. Or if you're a mom and you're having trouble finding other mom friends, like, is there something that happens at your local library every month or every week? Is there mommy groups at church? Like, I know at our church there's like a mom's group, and we all have like a group chat, and it's just like an optional thing at a coffee shop, and we can all like meet up and do life. Like, it's so easy to just like meet and connect with people if you're willing to show up and have those conversations. And then two, something I would say when it comes to like having these conversations and making friendships is, I think so often we're looking at it very in a self-serving way. But if you can look at a friendship as like, I want to be the friend that I'm like wishing or hoping I had. So how can I show up in this person's life this week to make them know that they're seen and they're loved and they're pursued? Because I think a lot of times we're so focused like, well, I don't feel pursued in this relationship, etc. Well, let's like make sure that the mirror's on us too, and we're looking at like, well, are we being a good friend? Are we reaching out? Are we praying? And are we like actually walking through the doors that God has opened in our community to get more involved? And look, I know it's hard with littles, like I totally get it, but use your littles to like go and do things and explore and meet up with other people with littles who understand what season you are in. I thought this one was a cute question. It says, how to ask a mom to hang out with a mom whose kids are 10 plus years older than yours. And I couldn't help but think of my friend Lindsay, because her kids are 13, 16, and 17. And it is one of the most beneficial friendships in my life, like literally life-changing, because I see the fruit of her parenting of them when they were younger, and I just look to her to glean wisdom, and I call her like on the daily to just ask for tips and tricks and do life with her. I think it's so beneficial to have people who are a stage ahead of you, who have walked where you've walked and learned the lessons the hard way. It's biblical, right? Like, we have to have someone in front of us, beside us, and behind us. Like, that's what we aim to have, right? Like, in a perfect world, we would have all three of those relationship dynamics in our life. Okay, I love this one too. It said, what are some red flags when hanging out with someone? Okay. Big red flag is gossip. It's just, it can be so sneaky and so cunning, and I feel like in the Christian world it can be masked as like, oh, this is what's going on in someone else's life, we should pray with them, but really it's just us sharing someone else's business that is not ours to share. And if someone's willing to share someone else's business with you, then they are definitely willing to share your business with somebody else. And so that's just something I always look out for, and it's just really easy to slip into that. And so just praying for the Lord to like always let us have the Holy Spirit's conviction in those moments. And then someone else asked, what do you do if you're in a conversation and gossip, gets brought up and there's no like conviction and it's just a part of like normal conversation? Well, either you can remove yourself, or you can be like, hey y'all, like, can we change the subject? I really don't like feel comfortable talking about this person's life. And then Something I saw Milena post not too long ago was more of just like an accountability thing if gossip's something that you personally struggle with. But if you notice yourself like venting or gossiping about someone, once you notice it, you have to like personally go apologize to that person. And she's like, it took me all of twice to like totally stop gossiping, because she had to go immediately to that person, apologize for gossiping. And then of course it brings up the conversation of like, hey, this is why maybe I was struggling, or this is why I felt that way. And it kind of forces you into that conversation you probably should have had in the first place, right? And I get it. I am that person who will like overthink having a conversation with a friend and make it way bigger than it is. And then you have the conversation, you're like, why did I not have that before? And it's caused issues in my life for sure. There was another question, have I ever been through a friend breakup? And I definitely have. And I will say, like, at the time, I don't think the friendship was like the most healthy, but the issue is when things would come up, I would just like harbor them. I would just like keep them. And then I like ended up with this huge long list of like offenses, and I was harboring offenses. And it's like, love keeps no record of wrongs. And I was literally keeping a record of wrongs. And now, should there be discernment inside of relationships? Like, is this relationship making me better or is it not? Because it's like doing one or the other. And in that season, was it making me better? Probably not. But it was on me that I never went and just like had the conversation up front. Like, I just let it all build up, and then the relationship just didn't last. And there has since been reconciliation and so much grace, and I'm very thankful to the Lord for that. But there's a lot on me inside of that. Like, all relationships are a two-way street, and there's two sides to every story. But just making sure that we're willing to have the hard conversations when they need to be had. Okay, there was also a lot of questions about how to cultivate deeper friendships. When you can connect just outside of like your normal church Sunday conversation, and how to even like ask to hang out. And so for me, I'm just such a big like voice memo texter, and I'm also a very spontaneous hangout person. And so I know that it's totally different in different seasons of life and different personalities. I would just be like, hey, can we meet at a park? Can we meet at coffee? If you have kids, like, hey, like, let's plan a play date. There's a girl in our church, and she's actually from Germany. And she's like, man, I've been having such a hard time creating community here and connecting. I'm like, come over to my house on Thursday. Like, let's get the kids together, like when they wake up from their naps. And it doesn't have to be this big thing. It can be really casual. You can open up your home. For us, it's opening up my apartment right now that we're literally moving out of so soon, and it's a wreck. But it's like, open up the space that God has given you to steward. And I know that there was some people who said that they're super introverted and they wanted advice that's more than just like, get out there. And so I get that. I get that I am a little bit more extroverted, and I am a little bit more of just like your spontaneous, hey, come over to the house, or like, let's meet up, even though we've never met before. Like, that's my personality type. But I would honestly be like, what questions could someone ask me that would actually really mean a lot if they asked me that? And then ask someone else that, like, ask them that. If you want to go deeper, like, what would make you feel like the conversation was deeper? Ask them about their story with Jesus. Like, ask them about their childhood and their parents and their family. And I'm getting a call, and I think Cammie's overheated, you guys. Okay, let's pause, and I will get back to these questions. Also, I realize I've been talking a little while, so. Okay, we're gonna let Cammie breathe, and I'm going to go in this cute little furniture store while I have the chance. Good morning, you guys. Cammie is officially charged up, and it is another day. It has been a very, very, very sweet morning. Chad let Micah and I sleep in until 7:30, which is like so wild for me. I'm like, 7:30 feels so late, and I literally came out, and the living room was clean, the kitchen was clean, breakfast and my coffee was on the table. Noah was thriving. He'd been up with him since pretty early. And a candle was lit. But it was just like a very, very, very sweet morning. And Noah's trying to climb on a table. Excuse me.
Hey, your hammer. Let's go fix that.
Okay. Anyways, what I was gonna say is, super, super sweet morning. Then I come over here. I was about to pick up my Bible and have some quiet time. And I saw this book on top of my journal. And it's literally a book of 1st and 2nd Samuel. And inside of it, I was like, babe, you have a book on just 1st and 2nd Samuel? Like, you know, I've been loving studying 1st and 2nd Samuel. And it actually is from one of our very, very sweet subscribers, Savannah. So fun story about Savannah. When we were in the middle of just, I think it was, Noah was almost 7 months old and still just, we were having a really, really, really hard time with him at night. It wasn't just the like feedings. It wasn't like, oh, he's waking up every hour and a half to 2 hours. It was more of he was waking up and I would feed him, try to burp him and everything. But then he would just like, he was really upset afterwards for like another 2 hours of just like being awake in the middle of the night. We were like, what's going on? Savannah literally came over. She was in town for a night. Savannah came over one night.
Yes.
And everything changed.
She's wild.
Literally everything changed. She like, I don't know what happened that night, but ever since Noah like sleeps through the night, she prayed over him. She's just the sweetest, sweetest soul. And so anyways, she sent this knowing that I've been loving it and she had thrifted it, which is so, so fun. And so Savannah, I'm about to text you, thank you, but also shout out, thank you so much. I did want to say I did not get to answer as many questions as I wanted to. So if y'all want like a part 2 or for me to answer more questions inside of another vlog, just comment them below. I know that I get a little long-winded when it comes to some of these questions, especially because it's just a topic that I'm really passionate about. Oh, I just realized we have hymns on in the background. I hope that doesn't get picked up. Okay, I liked this question. It just says, how do you balance time with your spouse versus time with your friends versus time with your kids versus spending time working? Like, how do you find a balance with it all? And I heard, I think it was Priscilla Schreier say this at some point. Y'all know that I love her. Balance is a really hard word because it almost makes it seem like you have to have an equal amount in each category. And that's just it's like a recipe for disaster because maybe God's not calling you to prioritize the same amount of effort in every single area in every single season. And so I know I talked about that inside of the video with Alyssa Bethke. I'll relink that below if you missed it. Just the pressure to do it all and be it all to everyone. And that can be really difficult in every season. Like, you're not called to be everything to everyone. Like, you are not God. And so I think what's really important is spending that time in prayer and saying, Lord, what do you want me to prioritize in this season? Who do you want me to prioritize in this season? Who do you want me to invest in? Who do you want me to reach out to and serve? Like, if you're looking for mentorship in this season, like, who could you be serving? Is there a family that you feel like you could be serving? Child's right there. And so I just think, again, it's always like, let's be Holy Spirit led in every single area of our life, in our friendships, in our marriage, in our motherhood journeys, in our church life, in all of it. And not put the pressure on ourselves to be everything to everyone. And I also just want y'all to know that if you are in a season that feels a little bit lonelier and isolated, I know a lot of y'all have moved to new cities lately. I'm going to be praying as well. I'm going to be praying that the Lord opens up friendships, like opens up doors. And keep in mind, you don't have to have quantity. You don't have to have a million different friends. But those few quality, deep friendships, they nourish the soul. And it really does change things. I mean, y'all know we've moved here for community. And I will say one distinction that John Mark Comer always likes to kind of describe is there's a difference between community and friendships. I have a ton of friendships with a lot of people around the world, and we are friends and we will keep in touch, right? But community is like who you do life with in proximity, like hey, you're sick, I'm dropping off soup and bread at your front door. Like, hey, you're not doing too hot, let me pick up your kids and watch them for a couple hours, let me take them to the park. Like, people that you can physically like do life beside, hand in hand, and you can serve is so important. And so I love friendships, I love online community, right? But this video I'm like more particularly talking about the community inside of your proximity, that we can be stewarding well. Anyways, I love you guys. I know this video is getting a little bit long, but the next video will probably be us packing up this apartment because we leave in less than a week and we haven't started packing yet. Okay, so it's gonna be great. We just decided last night we're gonna go to the beach for a couple days. And so it's my happy place. Very excited about that. We'll take you guys along for the journey. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Join the Masters fam. Love y'all. See you in the next video. Bye.